Greetings everyone and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International, and we begin with our top stories. The Social Democratic Front (SDF) has demanded the prolongation of the mandate of regional councillors, as has been the case with members of MPs and municipal councillors, and meantime, in a move that could reshape Cameroon's political landscape, legal reasons have been provided for extending the mandates of members of parliament to March 30, 2026. We'll have more in this edition of Newscast with experts talking on the issue. And as the rains season begins, the population of Douala swampy neighborhoods are already facing a severe ordeal, even with the slightest downpour, homes and streets causing significant inconveniences and damages. To tell you more in this edition of Newscast. And the city of Douala is grappling with a yellow fever threat despite previous efforts. Vaccination coverage remains insufficient, prompting urgent action and upcoming vaccination campaign. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. The Social Democratic Front Party, the SDF, has demanded the prolongation of the mandate of regional councillors, as has been the case with MPs and municipal councillors. The opposition party says it will be a murder of democracy to maintain the regional elections in 2025 for councillors whose mandate has been prolonged to vote. We'll have more in this edition with High Sencha was part of the press conference granted by the chairman Joshua Osei today in Yaoundé. His story.
With the mandates of the members of parliament and municipal councillors due to be prolonged as tabled in the National Assembly for deliberations and adoption, the stand of the Social Democratic Front, as stated by Chairman Joshua Osei this July 8 in Yaoundé, is clear.
We as a political party are against that prorogation because it goes in denial of the democratic rights of the Cameroonian people. We will not be able to accept that we are going into regional elections because these regional elections are indirect elections, and the voters are the municipal councillors. The voters are those who have just received from the President of the Republic the prorogation of their mandate. So we need to make everything for that not to happen, because it would be a blatant denial of the democratic rights of Cameroonians, and it will be as well a shame for our failed decentralization.
Talking to the men and women of the press at the Olezwa Central Regional Secretariat on the balance sheet of their parliamentary activities of the 10th Legislative, the chairman lamented over the misery of Cameroonians in the northwest and southwest regions, as well as the far north.
Probably the violence has diminished, but the situation of the population is worsening. We understand that our country is in chaos. And a country that is in chaos, if that country is a democracy, it needs alternance badly in order to put things back in place.
The disturbing situation of national identity cards remains a major concern for the SDF.
About 10 million thing that we as a social democratic political party cannot tolerate. As a matter of fact, the SDF thinks that ID cards should be free of charge because it's a duty for us to have them and it's an obligation by law.
Joshua Osei reiterates that one of the many challenges MPs of the opposition outfits are facing at the hemicycle is to make their voices heard, especially with the numerous private member bills tabled, simply not given any attention.
And a new bill seeking to extend the term of office of members of the National Assembly in Cameroon has sparked significant controversy. The bill tabled before the People's Representative has been described by the opposition parties as unfair maneuvers to destabilize their efforts. More in the following story. A move that has stirred political tensions. A bill proposing the extension of the term of office for members of the National Assembly has been tabled before Cameroon's legislature. If passed, the bill would prolong the current Assembly's mandate, a development opposition parties have vehemently criticized as foul play.
It's however regrettable that there is this foul game being played by the President of the Republic to destabilize his adversary, because to postpone or extend the mandate of this parliamentarian, it simply means that he's excluding some of his political adversary.
Opposition leaders argue that the bill is a deliberate attempt to weaken the influence and destabilize their efforts ahead of the upcoming 2025 elections. Critics of the bill claim that it is a strategic move by the ruling party to maintain its grip on power by denying the opposition a fair opportunity to compete.
And we know that it's a financial crisis besides other crises. So if the president deems that it's necessary for him to do that, then of course it's within his rights to do so. But of course, it also tells us that a lot of people are going to be in trouble because they had boycotted the election sometimes back, and it's just so unfortunate that the law is catching up with them.
Political analysts acknowledge that while the bill is constitutionally, it raises concerns about the democratic process. They emphasize that Cameroonians are increasingly vocal about their desire for political change and express skepticism about the motives behind the proposed extension.
And the most important thing that people want is a change of system. It doesn't matter who wins at the end of the day, but the bottom line is that there should be a change of system in the country so that we solve our problems.
With the 2025 elections approaching, the political landscape is fraught with uncertainty. Analysts suggest that the only viable path for the opposition to counteract the ruling party's dominance is to form a coalition. Without unity, the opposition chances of making significant electoral gains remain slim. And in a move that could reshape Cameroon's political landscape, legal reasons have been provided for extending mandates of members of parliament to March 30, 2026. This extension could impede opposition parties without adequate local representatives from participating in the presidential race. What alternative could these opposition political parties adapt to partake in elections in 2025? Gladys Ambodibang has been talking with some political analysts. Her story.
Cameroon's political arena is undergoing significant changes following the announcement of an extension for members of parliament's mandate to March 30, 2026. This decision, justified on legal grounds, may create substantial challenges for opposition parties lacking sufficient local representation, particularly as they prepare for upcoming presidential elections.
Party in the tussle to occupy the top seat of the state is using every means at their disposal to weaken or discourage the opponent. I believe the CPDM through the government is just using this extension as a way to eliminate the principal contender to this top seat.
Political analysts argue that this situation, while challenging, could also present an opportunity for opposition parties to adapt and strategize.
Things have changed. Even the mindset of people have changed. Just take a look at how people are crowding a legal registration center. It tells you the mindset of the people have changed. Don't think Cameroonians or the young Cameroonians are not following up evolution of situations in other countries. everybody is monitoring. The coalition in itself is not a panacea, but how will that coalition be formed? Who are those to make up the coalition? And what are the resources that are put in place to propel the position to success is what is going to matter.
La coalition de l'opposition, du moins des partis.
An opposition coalition will appear as an alternative to the difficulties faced by candidates whose parties are neither represented at the National Assembly, at the regional and municipal executives.
As the political landscape continues to evolve, the opposition's response and ability to adapt will be crucial in the lead-up to the presidential elections. The coming months will reveal whether these parties can overcome the hurdles and present a formidable challenge to the ruling party.
And we take you to the northwest region of Cameroon, where the independent conciliator has proposed a popular approach in municipal governance. This was during a meeting in Bamenda recently. More with our reporter, Annie Collins. Annie.
Who are interested in journalism.
After hitting the table and putting an end to payments before obtaining civil status documents, the Northwest Public Independent Conciliator has this Thursday, July 4, in Bamenda, launched a campaign for citizen participation in municipal council activities. Through an encounter with the media, Tamfu Simon Fai has warned mayors against carrying out development projects without consulting the people who are the beneficiaries.
This is part of decentralization. Yesterday, figuratively, we were only listening to Yaoundé. Everything Yaoundé said will apply. Now, that was top bottom. Now things have changed. Administration will start from the bottom and go up. In fact, the mayor should not do anything.
The campaign aims at whipping up awareness of the population to shine their eyes on all projects in their localities to make inputs where necessary. Mayors are therefore encouraged to hold town hall meetings with their populations apart from statutory council sessions.
We're going to be in Bamenda 1, we're going to Bamenda 1 council where we're going to hold a town hall meeting. The quarter heads, the councillors, the traditional councillors, women's groups, religious authorities and religious bodies have been invited to that town hall meeting. And after the meeting, we're going to do a caravan. There will be a caravan before to make the population know that there's such a meeting, and there will be a caravan after. And that is going to take place in all the subdivisions of the region.
Municipal council business being a public affair, the PIC says his office is open for all complaints in case of reticence from municipal executives of all the 35 council areas of the Northwest region.
And in order to push a local rice production closer to high demand in Cameroon, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development through the Rice Value Chain Development Projects have sealed a memorandum of understanding with the Institute of Agricultural Research for Development, IRAD, this day in the nation's political capital. Yaoundé. More story with our reporter Beatrice Ngamu.
Rice is the most nutritive and unquestionably the most consumed staple food after maize in Cameroon. This best bet for many celebrations, which has also pushed the demand for locally produced rice, insufficient to meet demand. The Rice Value Chain Development Project, put in place by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, is to boost this sector, with the objective of ensuring a rise in the annual production of rice nationally at 750,000 tons by 2030. The Memorandum of Understanding sealed with the Agricultural Research Institute for Development this July 8 twofold.
On the production of 9 tons of pre-basic seeds of adapted rice varieties, on the training of certified rice seed production cooperatives, respectively.
IRAD will provide scientific research and the promotion of rice development through adapted varieties and suitable methodologies. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Gabriel Bairobe, and the heads of the Rice Value Chain Development Project signed for the ministry, while the General Manager of IRAD, Noe Woin, signed for his structure.
And we take you to the far north region of Cameroon, where recent inspection tour across several divisions has highlighted both significant progress and notably challenges in ongoing infrastructure projects. Of recent, an inspection team visited various locations in the far north region. More info in the story. The inspection team visited various locations including Mayo Zane, Layo, Sava, and Gazawa in Ziamare, as well as Muturwa in Mayo Kane, Mora in Mayo Sava, Gildigis in Mayo Kane. The objective was to assess the progress of ongoing works, which includes road construction and maintenance.
Monsieur le maire, on n'est pas des esclaves. Non, on n'est pas des esclaves, je vous réponds.
Suivez-moi aussi.
On travaille, vous ne faites pas nous payer. Vous nous venez nous critiquer, vous nous critiquez.
Non, suivez-moi.
Je ne suis pas.
We have to control because the government is giving a lot of money. We need road, we have to work.
During the visit, the team observed considerable advancements in the construction of roads and the maintenance of drainage systems. Despite these positive developments, several issues were reported. Notably, there were conflicts between local mayors and contractors, as well as difficulties related to payment processes.
Je les ai dit que comment se fait-il que quelqu'un peut exécuter un projet sans assurance responsabilité civile, sans tout risque chantier, sans projet d'exécution.
When we arrived yesterday, we met people working. This morning also, when we came, we were not known that we are coming. I think we are satisfied. We asked all these people to continue to work.
The head of the mission expressed satisfaction with the overall progress of the projects. However, he acknowledged the need for addressing the identified challenges to ensure the smooth construction and successful completion of the infrastructure works. And the city of Douala is grappling with a yellow fever threat despite previous efforts. Vaccination coverage remains insufficient, prompting urgent action and an upcoming vaccination campaign. Gladys Ambodibang has the rest of that story.
Early stage orientation and appropriate training are proving vital for young people's career success around the world. Douala is facing a dire public health challenge as yellow fever continues to spread, causing widespread suffering amongst its residents. In response to this growing health crisis, a multi-sectoral advocacy and awareness meeting held on July 5 to address the yellow fever epidemic. The primary goal is to mobilize the necessary tools and resources for a comprehensive vaccination campaign scheduled to take place from July 24 to 30, 2024.
It's important to be precise that this campaign does not take place elsewhere. The campaign is only limited within the 9 health districts of the town of Douala.
The littoral region faces additional challenges, with official reports documenting 13,187 zero-dose children and 15,321 children who missed their Penta 3 vaccinations. These gaps in immunization coverage underline the critical need for the forthcoming vaccination drive.
We have put in place all the necessary measures to be able to attain our targets. And the target here concerning this campaign is every person aged 9 months and 60 years. So you see that is not the campaign that we used to have that is only limited to children. This one is quite vast.
Official data from 2022 and late December 2023 indicates that the littoral region, which includes Douala, achieved a vaccination coverage of 76%. However, estimates suggest that the actual coverage may be slightly higher, potentially exceeding 80%.
And that's how we saw it on this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is a debrief with Lil Piejou. As for me, I will be back same time tomorrow. Good night.